What's up, everybody? Akela here, and welcome to Passcode, powered by Symmetry Academy, the show where we deep dive into the minds of the artists shaping our scene. Every week, we sit down with DJs and producers, from newcomers to industry heavyweights, to talk inspirations, creative processes, and the moments defining their careers. Then they take over our decks for a specially curated set. Whether you're an aspiring artist, a seasoned DJ, or just here for the music, Passcode gives you a front row seat into the culture. No gimmicks, no fluff, just real conversations. Let's get into it. Today we're sitting here with Landopolo. What's up, man?
Hey, man. I'm Landopolo. Glad to be here.
So for those who are unfamiliar, how did you get started in music?
Okay. Good question. Back in like 2010, yeah, I was just turning 10. I started becoming like aware musically of what I liked, and it was mainly through movies. Whether it was like The Matrix or like Spawn or like usually an action movie in the 90s, early 2000s, I would always be like, what's this industrial sounding stuff? I didn't know what industrial music was back then, but like, like Prodigy or Daft Punk, of course, all those different types of artists like Moby. So I started getting into that stuff. So every time I go to the movies, and if I liked the soundtrack, I'd go to Tower Records and buy the CD, or I had my parents buy me the CD, and I just listened to it on repeat. And that kind of started developing from there, from like old school hip hop. Also, my oldest brother was a DJ back in the 90s, and he would always DJ raves. And growing up with him, he was collecting vinyl. So I was always around good music, but I wasn't aware of it until like 10, 11. So, but I didn't start getting into DJing until like I was 17, like 2007 in high school.
So you were a DJ before you started making music?
Yeah. I got into the idea of DJing 2007. I was in school. Yeah, I was in high school. A friend of mine, because me and him used to go to a lot of warehouse parties back in the day. And he, during lunch one day, he was like, "We should learn how to DJ. Like, we got all the music." I was like, "We do." So we would go to my brother's house, and I'd tell my brother like, "Hey, I want to learn how to DJ," and he had a huge vinyl collection. So he would give me some of the vinyls he didn't really care about so I could practice. And I felt bad using his vinyl because it was like precious to him. But he had CDJs called American DJs. It was like this, looked like a module. It was like a little thing, had like two little jog wheels with like plays, pause, record. He'd use it for like family parties. But I'd go on YouTube and find music from artists I liked. At the time, it was like Axwell and Justice, because they had just dropped their first album. And I would like study their DJ sets, and I'd burn CDs with all the tracks that they had, and then try to redo their sets with these little CDJs. And then it wasn't until like 2010 where I bought my own CDJs. And now look at me.
So when did you start making the music? You were a DJ before you were a producer.
Yeah.
When did you decide to make the jump from DJ to producer DJ?
2011. I remember I was very into blogs back in the day because most electronic music was being shown through blogs, and a lot of artists were doing bootlegs, which was literally just a vocal on top of a track that didn't have any vocals. And I thought, I can do that. So I downloaded Cakewalk, which is awful. And I would make my own bootlegs, which was just a track with some other vocals on it. And I got pretty good at it. But one day I was like, I buckled down, saved like 2 checks, and bought Logic 9, a MacBook, and like a beat pad, like a machine drum beat pad, and like a big MIDI keyboard that I didn't really need at all. So like 2011.
So what was your style back then when you first started? So I guess you started with making edits of tracks. How did that evolve into you making your full productions?
It was, I still have some of my first like tracks that I did, and they were just like awful sounding, I guess. They're pretty bad, but
Same with all of us.
Yeah, I mean, imagine I'm just pro. It was, my sound that I wanted was like very like the Swedish sound from back in the day, like Swedish House Mafia or Dirty South was like a huge inspiration to me because he was really good at telling a story in his tracks, and that was like way in over my head. But the first remix I ever tried to do was for Flashback by what's that white dude's name? This is like a flashback. Calvin Harris.
Oh, he's one of my
Really
favorites.
dope track. That piano when it comes in, cry every time. But I had got the stems somehow, and I tried to do a remix of it, and awful. But I learned how to automate a cutoff, through a filter, and for some reason at that point I was like, this is it. Music is my life.
That was the moment.
That was it.
That one
I haven't
cutoff
stopped.
filter.
I stood back and I was like, absolute cinema. In my head though.
So how would you describe your sound today? And how did you get from kind of like being inspired by that Swedish sound when you were first getting going? And how did it evolve into what it is now?
It's the Swedish sound isn't really my thing anymore. It'll probably come back. I wouldn't doubt it. But what I kept from the long term that I learned from a lot of the DJs and producers growing up was their progression, telling a story. And I feel like a lot of that's lost these days. You see some people still learning it, but for sure having progression in my tracks. But these days, more of my sound is sampling R&B, like ad libs, from like Will Smith to Missy Elliott, Timbaland. Like their vocals are cool, but I think a lot of the heart and soul of their tracks come from the backing vocals, like the hoo-ha, like especially Will Smith. Like he has some of the best ad libs, so that stuff really resonates with people. It makes people want to dance. Like that's something I realized as a kid too. Is like I always like the little knickknacks that songs have, so I sample those things and put it into my tracks now. And the vibe I try to go for is something that you can relate to through R&B, like vocal wise, but it's more dancier, obviously, because you don't really dance too much to R&B music.
All
I
right,
guess
so
that makes sense.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
dude, totally. So looking back at some of those older days, are there any moments that you wish you could relive?
Yeah, the first time I went to Six Flags, probably one of them. Or like music wise,
What's your favorite roller coaster at Six Flags?
God, what's the one? Goliath.
Wrong answer. X2. That's the best one.
X-2 is all right.
Oh, come
Like when they
on.
added the flamethrower, I was like, really?
I mean, that's a nice touch, the cherry on top.
It's all right. It's cute.
But in dance music, I feel like we were talking about this earlier, like festivals back in the day and
Oh,
the sets back in the day.
yeah,
Just like in your journey in music.
man. Something I'd wish I kind of could relive is like in 2008 to 2010, I was going to a lot of raves in the Redlands, and that was like where all the parties were at. There was Gotham City, which was like a rave club, and then there was Pharaoh's Water Park. It was literally just a water park that was closed down, but they used it for raves, and it was like built for raves. It seemed like, and like I think pretty sure like a lot of the OG DJs still play today. I think Skrillex played like Love Fest like before he was anything. But I got to see like Darude. He played Sandstorm, and I was like, okay, like that's cool. Dirty Vegas. I saw LMFAO before they were anything, and it was like just an intimate room of like 400 people, and it was like, there they are.
In a water park? We're in the water park.
Well, no, well, a lot of those artists were like in between Gotham City and Water Park, but the Water Park was literally like the first two stages were in where the arcade was like a building, but outside was for like the two other main stages, and it was, I don't know how to explain it, but like one stage was literally a stage that the water park had for maybe like live events, and then they used like a part of the parking lot, and yeah, that was on for like a solid maybe 2 years. It's cool. Just a water park.
Were there any times that you ever felt like quitting, and how did you get through those?
Yeah, there was not anymore. Once you learn, that's kind of just a part of the journey. Probably with most things in life is like, oh, I should quit, but that's kind of part of everything. But with music or art in general, it's a hard thing to kind of go through, especially on your own, which is why it's good to have like a team of people or friends to be like, you're gonna be okay. Just stick with it.
We all go through those phases where it feels like everyone leaves for a while.
Yeah.
And then we all kind of reconvene at some time,
Yeah,
and we're
no.
just like, oh, what did you learn in
That-
those 3
that's-
years that we were apart?
Yeah, that actually did happen. But there was a point where I was pretty depressed, like in 2014, and I wasn't working on music for like 6 months. And my girlfriend at the time, I was just telling you guys, she broke up with me, and I went full-fledged music after that. And then like I thanked her for breaking up with me. It's like, thanks. Now I'm a star.
So if music didn't exist, what would you do to fill the creative void?
Probably invent music.
Invent music?
Yeah.
How would you do that? Just like back in the day. Oh my God, can cut that, dude. You gotta bleep me at least.
You know what I would have done? I would have been in my room and I would have been like bad and bougie.
What other creative things do you like to
That
do
would've been
besides
it.
music? Like I think Franklin said he used to cook. In the
Graphic
last
designing.
interview. Graphic designing.
Yeah, I'm
Do you do a
really
lot of
good.
that?
Yeah, I'm mainly, not lately, but mainly when I'm doing like my own releases and stuff, I do all my own.
What do you use for
cover
graphic
arts.
design?
It's like this dingy software called Pixelmator Pro. It's like an intro to graphic designing, but in 2019, I was starting to release music back when I was doing bass music, and I was like, dang, I need like art. And I was looking up people to pay, but like it's expensive. And I had like 5 tracks, and I was like, I don't have $1,000 to like put down on all this. So I just bought the software for like $60, and I learned it. It's pretty basic, but once you get really good at the basic stuff, it looks more professional. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's not nearly as good as Adobe, but when you get good at it, like it doesn't matter what you're on. But I started doing that, and then people liked my work, so they started paying me for it. And then, I'd probably be doing that or post production.
So what's something about the industry no one prepares you for?
Depression. That's a good one.
It is a really good one.
Yeah, keep that one.
How do you fall into that? Do you just like notice it or
Yeah,
creeps up on you?
whenever I feel like I'm. I got this from Antoine, AN21. Remember one day, like a decade ago, he posted on Facebook. He's like, "Music won today," meaning he couldn't figure out anything when he said it. But when I realize I can't make anything or I don't want to make anything, I lean into it. I let it allow itself to do its thing. I don't fight it. Otherwise, you're like trying to lift the world over your shoulders, and it's too much. That's what it feels like. Yeah, it doesn't happen too much because I know I give myself. When I first started making music, I used to think I need to be on music 8 hours a day, and it just burns you out. Like I'm not, Avicii or Prince, but I started to develop healthy ways how to go about music or art in general or anything. You dip in, do it as much as you can. If you feel like you can't, I'll try to like push, but if my body's like really not trying to do it, I'm like, all right, give it a day, give it 2 days.
What are some things you fill your time with whenever you're having those days that just feel like they're not working out?
Graphic design is another outlet. It doesn't tax on me when I'm, musically. So it allows me to just be more just to the eyes, like, oh, like I love colors and shapes, whatever. But usually when I'm doing that, it reignites ideas for music. So they kind of go hand in hand together for me. They help each other out.
Do you ever play like games or sports or what's your thing outside of creative work?
Aside from anything music, I like hanging out with my friends, camping.
Any favorite places to go camping out here?
Kern River. It's up north. I haven't gone in a while, but it's probably one of my favorite places to camp because you can just lay in the river and I was going to say take a dump in the river, but it's really fun. And I like being in places that are so away from like people, like where there's no restroom either. I like being in places like that.
Man, there's a lot of places like that out here.
Yeah.
I discovered a lot of that during the pandemic. I like totally forgot the side of LA that's beautiful, like all the hiking.
Yeah, we're spoiled out here.
So if your Spotify Wrapped exposed your most embarrassing guilty pleasure to the world, What song or artist would it be?
Guilty pleasure to listen to?
Yes.
Probably the Monkey song. I know no one knows that.
Wait, which one is that?
It's called GIF Monkey, but I'd have to pull it up. It's in the archives.
Definitely show it to me later.
Maybe that.
Are you gonna remix that song ever?
I probably would.
You should.
Actually remixing. It's more of an original because I'm only sampling like parts of it. But I'm too sexy. I'm too sexy. Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good.
I have a track.
I'm gonna play it in all my sets.
Yeah.
Huh?
It goes off.
So you have to go B2B with a random celebrity who has never DJ'd before. Who would you pick?
Besides Tupac, damn, who's someone that would look crazy on the decks? This is a good one. Damn, you guys are good. Wait, let me think real quick. Who's a celebrity? Oh my god, someone really tall.
Like Chuck E. Cheese, maybe?
No, what's that? Now I'm getting red light syndrome. Let's come back to that one. Ask me one more. Then
we'll put an ad right here. So Color with Live is a.
Wait, that's a good one. What's a celebrity? Damn.
It's like a famous person.
Yeah. I would say, all right, if I had a DJ, like let's say I'm walking up to a festival and they're like, hey, so and so wants to DJ with you back to back. Could you do that? I'd be like, down. But it would have to be like Keanu Reeves.
Okay. Why Keanu Reeves?
Can you imagine that?
Just in the Matrix?
No, like
just locked in?
Actually, yeah. Keanu Reeves, Matrix, like
Matrix
Prime,
Keanu Reeves?
Prime Matrix Keanu Reeves, back to back. Dark Warehouse. Doesn't know what he's doing.
What would the genre be? Straight techno at that point. Your style mixed with techno,
maybe? But it'd be just future bass.
Future bass set? It's like Keanu Reeves
like,
Matrix style future bass.
He'd be like... Probably would be techno though.
So if you could talk to your younger self at the beginning of your journey, what's one piece of advice you would give yourself?
At the beginning?
Yep.
Damn. Always cut below 20 hertz. Make sure.
Always. Is there ever a scenario that you wouldn't cut below 20 hertz?
Probably for orchestra music. Maybe. Nah, just if I saw myself the moment I realized music was my thing, I'd be like, you're right. Don't stress about it. And that'd be it.
Just keep going.
Yeah.
And cut below 20 hertz.
And cut below 20 hertz.
Linear phase or natural phase?
Linear for the master.
Okay, fair. If you could pick one underground artist to put on the map, who would it be?
In the world or
in
here?
The entire world.
That's a hard question. There's way too many artists and I dig way too much. And I'm never finding one consistent artist.
What about someone that you just play with regularly? Because you're kind of in that warehouse scene, downtown, the Los Angeles warehouse scene.
There's good DJs out here. Like, I remember I met Andrea last week. She's a really good techno DJ. Like, her progression is crazy good. But when it comes to, like, producers, it's not so much... There's way too many people, man. I wouldn't even know. Everyone's in, like, the UK or, like, Detroit or Chicago. Even New York, some are really, really good producers. Out here, there's a lot of good producers, but I've realized there's maybe not a lot of people who make music that I would play in my sets, although I realize they're great. I feel like it's more the parties are what I would suggest to people. Like the good curators. Like there's not many out here, but there's some I really like suggest to people. Like the Sound Factory, they curate really good parties. They put a lot of money into their production. They're an underground party, and usually what I do is I'll go to different parties around here, and I'll get to know the people, the team, and yeah, like Sound Factory. You have Certified Groovers. They strictly are like, we only want DJs who are understanding how to curate a playlist. You know, don't get me wrong. I know there are a lot of the other parties are kind of gravitating towards the techno thing. Understandably, it's big, it's great. I play some of the shows, it's cool, but a lot of the time I don't want that too. Like I want good DJs who play house music or play, you know, extended sets. So we don't really have too much of that.
How'd you get into that scene? Like, how did you start finding and networking in those places?
Cool question. I think like 2021 is when I was like getting back into house music again. So I was like, this is when I was like starting to hit up soul again. Alexa, or Alex, sorry, was playing shows, and I was like, I want to come hang out with everyone. So I started going out more and started seeing how the industry kind of works. And so I was like, oh, this is cool. I start going to parties. The more COVID started breaking away, um, and what made it fun for me was I realized that the underground scene reminds me of high school. Everyone's like in their kind of like their own groups. You got the nerds, the vampires, uh, the jocks, I guess the cool guys. And it's like, because I used to go during like my lunch break, I would go and just say hi to everyone because I kind of knew everybody. And it reminds me of that. And it makes it easy for me to kind of just gravitate towards everybody because
What did it feel like the first day showing up to that? You know, like we just went through COVID. Now you're out here, you're deciding to get back into this. Like the first time you walked back into one of those spaces, how did it feel?
uh, I don't know. It felt like I was just going to a party. And then I think the only time I started to realize, like, oh, like I'm kind of doing it now, is again when I started realizing, well, when I started working behind the scenes, because I work for a merch box, and it's a screen printing company. We mainly work with artists, doing their merch for like Side Piece, Boombox Cartel, like Peekaboo. We've done merch for like underground parties too, like Blind Tiger. We've made their merch.
How'd you get into it?
I follow the owner. His name's Americo, and
Boombox Cartel.
yeah, oh yeah. But I follow his Instagram and his personal Instagram. I just follow him. I was a fan of his, like a super big fan of his. I mean, he's one of the OGs, the bass music, and I've just always followed him. And then he posted one day on his personal Instagram that they were hiring, and I was like, "Fuck it, why not?" Like, I'm looking for a job. I'm not liking my current job, and like they hit me up 2 days later, and they like hired me that week, and now we're cool. Now we're like homies. And
That fast, huh?
that's what she said.
Any shout outs or just
To Boombox?
just
Yeah.
write it right in the inbox? Shoot your shot.
Oh,
Don't forget to shoot your shot.
shout out Boombox Cartel. New merch coming soon, always. Um, no, yeah, it was that quick. They really needed a guy. And then once I came in for the interview, and they're like, let's test you out for 8 hours. And yeah, I worked that day.
Did that lead to any other opportunities? Did that open doors?
Yeah, they kind of hook it up sometimes with like random gigs. Like if I want to sell merch at like a club that like one of the artists that we're doing, like we did, Shipwreck was doing an event and they didn't have a merch guy, so they asked me if I wanted to do it. And yeah, there's like little opportunities here or there. I'll get to hang out with, Americo. It's cool. It felt weird at first. Like for like 6 years, I was like a big fan of his music. Now I just make fun of him.
That's how it is, isn't
It
it?
really is. It's pretty cool. It's a nice perk.
That's the music scene.
Yeah.
You're hearing you're self-conscious, then you just end up making fun of each
Yeah,
other.
no, he's a cool guy, great guy. That whole team is great, so I'm glad to be a part of it, and I've been learning a lot, so it feels really nice.
What do you think is one of the biggest things that you've learned from this opportunity?
There's a lot, like just like stuff we'll talk about in the industry, music wise too, or whenever Americo goes out to like, I don't know, Greece, or he's like touring and he'll come back and just tell me stories. But job wise, I'm trying to learn as much as I can through the screen printing. For the most part, I'll ask my lead, because I have a lead too. We all do music there, so we all relate to like music somehow. But he'll tell me like everything because he likes to talk about stuff. So I'll just like stand there and he'll tell me like his process of how he does the screen printing or DTG. And since I go out a lot to underground gigs to kind of like talk to people, I make sure that people know that, hey, like if you need someone to help you out with merch, you too, if you need hats, hoodies, shirts, thongs, we can do it.
So what's a piece of advice that you could give that maybe you learned from Americo that you can share with the audience here?
From Americo. Okay. It's okay to branch out. It's okay to branch out. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Americo does bass music, but he also has a side project doing like a house music type. Like it's like lo-fi, uh, not strictly house, but it's also kind of like techno in a way. He likes very repetitive, like reminds me of techno, but it's cool. It's he's working on a lot of stuff right now, and he does want to work on music with me, which is cool. Hopefully that comes out this year.
I think switching it up like that keeps it fun.
Yeah, and I feel like people kind of get scared of, pushing themselves, and a lot of artists that I meet, I like to talk to them about stuff like that too. Like, hey man, don't be scared of playing certain things. Like, just play it. Like, if that's what I incorporate in my sets. I don't play just like a certain type of house music. I play different types of subgenres of house music, as long as it all makes sense together. Like, it may sound to a fresh ear that I'm kind of everywhere, but once you start developing your ears and I guess yeah, developing your ears, you start to realize, oh, like he's taking you more of on like a journey as to instead of just playing one genre or I don't know.
You about to take us on a journey today?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's all we got for now, but Landopolo, now we're about to hop over to the decks. You got something ready for us?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it. Yo, if you're anything like us, you've probably been diving into Serum 2 lately.
That's why PASSCODE, in collaboration with Sound Design Academy, is giving away a free Serum 2 preset pack. 25 presets with macros, just as a thank you for tuning in.
We've dropped a download link in the description, so grab it and start creating.
And we want to hear what you make. Send us a track for a chance to get a shout out on the stream and even have your song played live by Akela or myself.
Can't wait to hear what you guys cook up. Now let's dive into this week's mix.
Make me सब कुछ रुका रुका सा है,
छाया समा कितना प्यारा,
सावन का समझो इशारा।